Having been in the training and coaching space now for over 10 years, and after having worked with thousands of individuals from all walks of life, I found that the number one trait or characteristic or skill that my most successful students and followers possess is an abundant mindset. Likewise, regardless of the amount of training or coaching, people with a scarcity or fixed mindset always, in every case, struggle and ultimately fail. So in this video, I want to break down the difference between abundance and scarcity and how it applies to you as an entrepreneur and a real estate investor coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Quickstart Kit with everything you need to flip your first house in 30 days or less. Download it now at myquickstartkit.com.
If this is your first time here, my name is Jerry Norton and I've been a full-time real estate investor now for over 17 years. Amongst other things, I specialize in flipping houses all across the country, and I've helped thousands of new investors get in the game of flipping and create 6 and even 7-figure incomes. If you want to learn how to flip houses so you can live your dream life, be sure to subscribe and click the bell icon to get notified when new videos are released. Your overarching belief system about business and money and success and people and life in general dictates your way of being with how you relate to the world. And that belief system, not your circumstances, is what determines the experience you and I will have during our life's journey here on Earth. On this video, I'm going to refer to that belief system or way of being as your mindset. And that way of relating to the world or mindset is formed through our upbringing and our environment. And when it comes down to it, there are one of two polar opposite mindsets each of us will ultimately adapt, and everything that happens in our lives will be filtered through that mindset. One mindset is conducive to success and happiness, and the other is detrimental to success and happiness. I live in Puerto Rico, and when a hurricane comes, homes built with the right foundations weather the storm, and homes built with poor foundations are decimated and destroyed. The same is true with the foundations of our lives, including entrepreneurship, business, money, and real estate investing, which is why you're here watching this video, and your mindset is the foundation to that entire structure. The challenge is our mindset is so interwoven, so deeply into our identities that most people go through life completely unaware and sincerely believe that their life's outcome is a result of circumstance and not mindset. Humans are masters at self-deception. We can convince ourselves of just about anything. The ability to self-confront is one of the hardest things to learn how to do. So the first step to real lasting change is always self-awareness. So I want to ask you to do an honest evaluation as I break down these two different mindsets. Ask yourself, do I do that? How do I do that? When do I do that? And rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10. Remember, becoming self-aware of both your strengths and weaknesses is the only way to develop integrity, and integrity is where you overcome self-deception and can make lasting changes in your life. Now, the first mindset that I want to talk about is an abundant mindset. Abundance is an underlying belief in yourself and your abilities, while also recognizing there is a God or a higher power and that you are worthy or deserving of goodness and blessings. Not because you've done anything to qualify for blessings, but simply because you were born with inherent and innate value. In other words, just by virtue of being alive, you are worthy. Abundance is a belief that there is an infinite amount of opportunity, information, resources, money, and in real estate, a belief that there are plenty of good deals. If you miss a deal, it's okay because there's another deal just for you right around the corner. An abundant thinker believes win-win and that he actually can have it all. You can have your cake and eat it too. You can be both rich and spiritual. You can own a successful business and be a good mom or dad. You can make money and have free time. You can get a good deal and help a distressed seller. Both can win, and you don't have to compromise one good thing for another good thing. An abundant thinker gives and shares freely because he believes in the law of reciprocity, which is the more you give, the more you receive. An abundant person is always expanding and sees problems and challenges not as a hindrance, but rather an opportunity to provide solutions. And when one door closes, another door always opens. Abundant people know that the only thing constant is change. And rather than resent change, they embrace it. They know that with fluctuations in the economy, technology, government policies, world events, and trends, that business and real estate strategies are always evolving, and abundant thinkers actually get excited about that because it means they get to implement new ideas and new techniques. Abundant people take accountability for their circumstances. If they don't like their results, rather than blaming someone or something, they know it's up to them to do something about it. Above all else, abundant people are more accepting and forgiving and generally give people the benefit of the doubt. And as such, they attract other abundant people in their lives. They are visionaries, and because of that, they attract really talented people into their organizations. Rather than thinking, no one can do it as good as I can, they think, how can I find and train someone to do it better than I can? Abundant people are lifelong learners and invest time and money in their personal development. They value coaching and mentorship, and instead of being threatened by someone at a higher level than them, they seek them out and are eager to learn from them. Abundant people are opportunists. When everyone says it can't be done, they think, how can it be done? Abundant people look at mistakes and setbacks as necessary stepping stones to progression. If they do a bad deal or lose money on an investment, they think, now I know what not to do, and they try again. And because they don't believe that the universe is conspiring against them, they know that it's only a matter of time before they will actualize their goals and desires. Listen, if you struggle with living abundantly, the good news is you can learn or acquire that way of being. Here's how. Abundant people understand that being successful starts with feeling successful. They are masters at cultivating the feelings of already having what they desire. This is often called the law of attraction. Our thoughts dictate our feelings, which dictate our actions, which dictate our results. It all starts with our thoughts and feelings. For example, one of my dearest friends is one of the happiest and most abundant guys I know and is a master at cultivating the feelings of his desired outcome. This week, he's visiting here in Puerto Rico on vacation with his wife. His first day here, my wife and I took him and his wife to a restaurant here at the marina where I live for fish tacos. Now, we sat outside to eat literally 10 feet from the ocean. After dinner, he said to me, "This is amazing, being here with people I love, sitting here by the ocean with good food." Then he said, "No matter what else happens, this will be the best vacation ever." Notice his vacation is already amazing before it's even happened. Why? Not because of the company, food, or ocean, but because he already decided ahead of time that it was going to be amazing. That's abundance. Want to acquire more abundance in your life? It all starts with cultivating abundant feelings, and the more you practice, the more it will become a normal way of thinking. For example, I often struggle with a strong sense of urgency. I'm always in a hurry, and sometimes I can be very impatient, which I recognize is a scarcity mindset. So one of my goals since moving here to Puerto Rico is to learn how to slow down and feel more peace in my life. So I'm intentionally practicing being more aware of my surroundings. Every day I go to the ocean and I practice feeling gratitude by noticing the beauty of the island. I watch the waves, I feel the sand in my toes while praying and meditating. And to cultivate those feelings, every day I tell my wife how much I love living in Puerto Rico. Now, another example is one of my goals is to get 1 million subscribers on my YouTube channel. Now, I'm a long ways off, but I already cultivate the feelings of accomplishing that goal. As far as I'm concerned, I've already done it in my mind. So I naturally take the necessary action steps each day to make it happen in the physical. I started saying that my channel was the #1 house flipping channel on YouTube way back when I only had 25,000 subscribers, and I clearly wasn't. But I cultivated those feelings first, and now it really actually is the #1 channel on YouTube for flipping. By the way, if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel. Now, I recently did a video where I talk about a goal I set 10 years ago to do a single deal that netted a $1 million profit. And on that video, I talked about the journey to accomplishing that. Now, I'll leave a link to that video in the description below, and you can check it out later. Now, I've personally come a long ways from when I started, broke and barely getting by, and I owe it to learning how to develop an abundant mindset. To sum up abundance, people living with a belief that the glass is half full, not half empty, tend to be happy and successful and thrive in whatever they do. So the opposite of abundance is a fixed or scarcity mindset. Now, a fixed mindset is a closed mindset and keeps you stuck and stagnant. A scarcity mindset is a lack of belief in your ability and a lack of belief in God and humanity. They believe somebody is out to get them, so they are skeptical and resentful and overly judgmental. It's a belief that you need certain talents and connections and privileges to succeed, and people at the top must have stepped on someone else to get there. A fixed mindset doesn't believe in God or that God is there to punish them for their sins and mistakes. It's a belief that we have to earn our way to heaven rather than learn our way to heaven. Scarcity thinkers have a real problem with people who are rich. They believe the rich are greedy because the only way to get rich is to take advantage of the poor. That there's only a finite amount of resources and opportunities and money to go around, and the rich have taken more than their fair share. That if someone is successful, someone has to fail. If someone wins, someone has to lose. In real estate, scarcity is a belief that there are only so many deals to go around and there's not enough for everyone. It's a belief that government and authority figures should intervene and level the playing field and make it fair for everyone. After all, the disadvantaged are victims and don't have the same opportunities. Being a victim, regardless of the circumstance, is extremely detrimental to success because it's not your fault, and as long as it's not your fault, you're off the hook to do anything about it. People with scarcity have a fear of missing out, and they worry more about what everyone else is doing than creating their own dream life. Their accomplishments lack meaning because they're constantly seeking validation and approval of others, which is never satiating. When considering starting a new business like flipping houses, they ask, how long did it take someone else to get their first deal or someone else to be successful? As if what someone else does has anything to do with what they do. A scarcity thinker struggles with commitment because he's easily distracted by the next shiny object that might be faster and easier. A fixed mindset operates in absolutes and believes you can't have your cake and eat it too. They think in terms of either or. You can be rich or spiritual, but not both. You can get a good deal or help the seller, but not both. You can run a successful business or spend time with your family, but not both. Scarcity thinkers are so wrapped up in self-deception that they are completely unaware that their results in life are exactly what they manifested. Nothing more, nothing less. A fixed mindset doesn't value self-education and believes they're not qualified unless someone in a position of authority says they are, and the worst thing that could happen is they make a mistake. Mistakes are to be avoided at all costs because mistakes mean failure, and failure is a reflection on you personally. It means you have less value and less worth. So scarcity thinkers play it safe and they don't take risks. Better to be safe and unfulfilled than unsafe and fulfilled. A really good way to look at abundance versus scarcity and how to put it in the proper context that's really helped me is to think in terms of what it means to be a human. On one hand, as humans, we have a reptilian brain, which is the back part of our brains. It's the instinctual, physical part of us that only cares about pleasure and self-preservation. It's the selfish, self-centered, instant gratification, fight or flight part of being human that's kept us alive for thousands of years. Thank you, monkey brain. That is the scarcity part of us. But unlike all other mammals, we have a frontal cortex that allows us to reason and comprehend cause and effect. It's the spiritual, moral side of being a human. That is the abundant part of us. And unlike just operating from instinct, we have the ability to choose. Agency, or the ability to choose, separates us from all other creatures. It's like we all have an internal battle going on every day between our physical self, scarcity, and our moral or spiritual self, abundance, and we get to choose which one leads out. So here are 5 steps to create more abundance in your life. Step number 1 is to recognize you're a human and that feelings of scarcity are normal. It doesn't mean anything is going wrong. Look at me being a human again. Step number 2 is self-acceptance. Feel the feelings of scarcity, allow yourself a moment, and let them run through your body. Step 3 is self-confrontation. Recognize it's not your higher desire and decide how you want to show up. Step number 4 is to cultivate feelings of already having it or accomplishing it. And step 5 is to repeat that process until abundance becomes your default way of being. And if you're looking to use real estate as the vehicle to create more financial abundance in your life, then get my advanced home study course. It's called the 8-Week Academy, and I used to sell this program for $1,500, but since I'm practicing what I preach, I'll give it to you for free. Just go to 8weekacademy.com. In that training, I'll show you how to quickly build a 6-figure income wholesaling and flipping houses. All I ask is you leave a comment and say, "Thank you, Jerry, you are a flipping genius." And finally, if you'd like to see how I went from digging holes in construction to becoming a self-made millionaire in less than 3 years, check out a video where I share how I did it, and I'll see you on the next video.